the threat from Iran. Let's bring in former Secretary of State, CIA Director Mike Pompeo, maybe a future member of the next Trump cabinet. We'll see. Mr. Secretary, thanks for being here. Your thoughts on these world leaders reaching out, and do you think big things in the world possibly are set to happen when the new president, the president-elect, becomes president again?
Well, Brett, Martha, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I think the world will change fundamentally when President Trump takes office on January 20th of next year. They will once again have respect for American leadership. There'll be a leader on stage that understands the deterrence model that has delivered such good things for the United States, who put America first for 4 years and didn't have these wars that we're now all suffering, and that the people in the Middle East are suffering, the people in Europe are suffering. Even as we sit here today, there's Americans that are held hostage by the Iranians in Gaza. Yeah, I think a whole lot will change, and I think our allies and friends around the world will come to trust us once again, Brett, in ways that are fundamentally important for every single American.
Secretary Pompeo, Britt Hume is here with us, and he has a question for you.
Mr. Secretary, do you think President Trump can be counted on to fully back Israel in its conflict in Gaza and elsewhere around the Middle East? And the same question to you, sir, about the Ukraine war and whether he'll be prepared as the Ukrainians so desperately hope to give them what they need.
Yeah, Britt, undoubtedly. My best evidence for that, if you ask me why I believe that, is the way we behaved when we were in office for the 4 years that President Trump was the 45th president of the United States. There was never a gap between the United States and Israel, not once. We understood the Iranians were bad, dangerous, evil. We put enormous pressure on them and had slowed their nuclear program down dramatically, and we didn't have Hamas and the Houthis and the Hezbollah folks conducting terror campaigns at the scale we've seen. I don't think there's any doubt the United States will continue to support them in the way that we did for the 4 years prior. I think the same is true in Europe. Don't forget, Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine under President Obama. He didn't take an inch of Ukraine for 4 years, and he went back at it as soon as President Trump left office. I think that model of American strength will be resumed, and I think we will be able to create a better set of options for the United States of America so that we actually win these conflicts and don't engage in the endless wars that the Biden administration has led us down the path of.
Quickly, Mr. Secretary, if you were the Secretary of State, you were the CIA Director. Is there another job maybe in the offing for the next administration?
Oh, Brett, look, this is a great day for America. Let's enjoy today. We'll figure out how to build the team. I'm confident President Trump will do that. He'll find talented people who understand how to deliver good security outcomes for the American people. And, if he were to include me in that, it would be an honor in the same way it was to serve for the 4 years I had the privilege to do just a few years back.
Just quickly, Secretary Pompeo, what are you concerned about in terms of from now until January 20th? Because a number of these players may want to make some action before President Trump is back in office. Quickly, if you can, sir.
Yeah, Martha, it's one of the things that's been most interesting about the last 14, 16 hours. We've heard not a word from the President of the United States, right? We still have a President Biden, and our adversaries can see that. And I am worried about these next 60, 90 days in this interim period where President Biden is a lamest of lame ducks and where they think maybe they can actually use this moment. But I'm confident they'll see that President Trump's about to take power, and they will think twice about that, Martha.
Secretary, thank you. Good to have you with us today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.